council meeting in order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Fort Bend City Council meeting of July 14, 2026 at Fort Bend City Hall in the Linda Hartloff Chambers. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent reflection for those protecting and serving our country.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Excuse me, I know you just walked. Did you want to speak this evening? Okay. If you did, you just need to sign up on that sheet. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Mrs. Gilman as acting clerk of council.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, second by Mrs. Hovis to appoint Mrs. Gilman as acting temporary clerk for this evening. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman, present. Richard Morgan.
Present.
Avery Robinson. Kathy King.
Here.
Pat Hovis. Here. Jerry Trolley.
Here.
Carmen Daft.
Excused. Thank you. Council, you previously received the June 23rd, 2026 regular meeting minutes and the June 25th, 2026 special meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam President, make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson to approve the June 23, 2026 regular meeting minutes and the June 25, 2026 special meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Okay, motion carries. The minutes are hereby adopted. The chair notes the certification has been made regarding compliance with the rules and notifications of this meeting. We have no guest presentation and no public comment. We'll move on to executive officers' reports. Council, this evening there are several new ordinances for first readings. Ordinance 25-26, no committee 3 reads. Ordinance 26-26, no committee 2 read, passed on a second read, being time sensitive. Ordinance 27-26, no committee 3 reads. Ordinance 28-26, no committee, passed on its first read, and Mr. Vila will talk about that during his time. We have resolution 26-5, no committee, but administration has asked that be passed on its first reading. It is about cybersecurity, and there's some training that is required, and by passing this, they can get the training and everything and get things going per the law. Resolution 26-6, no committee 3 reads. Additionally, on the second reads, we have 23-26 and 24-26. Administration has asked that be passed on a second read due to time sensitive, and Mr. Vila will also discuss that. I would like to thank everyone that put together the 4th of July. It was very smooth. Weather ended up being nice, so that is all I have. The mayor's not with us this evening, but he did send me his report. Council, well, in advance of Jim's departure, I had made plans associated with my day job, which will keep me away from tonight's meeting. Advance warning, I will also be out of town on July 28th. The flood, it was amazingly impressive as to how well the police, fire, service, water, and sewer departments worked to address the multiple issues that arose on Monday, July 6th. Not only was high water a concern, but multiple ambulance calls and 2 rollover accidents on State Route 2 within 30 minutes of each other. While the rain was still falling, made a very active environment. Thanks to Republic Services for coordinating the special cleanup day, as well as making special consideration for the gate service at the county landfill and curb service for those property owners impacted by the flooded waters. In addition to the dumpsters that were at City Hall last Thursday, gate service or taking damaged goods to the landfill located at 530 Camp Perry Road is available until the end of business day this Friday. $8 per load, $100 if stacked over the cab of the vehicle. Curbside service, you need to call 1-800-234-3429 and the bulk rates will apply. Fort Clinton's Lions Club has been officially awarded $5,000 emergency flood funding through an emergency flood relief funding through their National Alliance Foundation. This support will be issued as $50 Walmart gift cards. Anyone in need of assistance with cleanup can call Patty from the PC Lions at 419-545-1025. This is open to anyone impacted by floodwaters inside and outside of the city limits. 4th of July events. The PC Area 4th of July Committee is comprised of Kenny Holcomb, Debbie Tester, Heather Isabel, Greg Fox, Carol Fox, Andy Drummer, Amy Drummer, Ken Sedlak, and the Marisol. We hope everyone enjoyed the event of the day. It was a great deal of success and positive comments can be directed to those who donated funds toward the fireworks. Normally the show is around $8,500. This year it was $20,000. If you're interested in contributing to fireworks to maintain the $20,000 show, please send your donations to the PC Chamber of Commerce Foundation, 110 Madison Street, Port Clinton, Ohio, 43452 with the memo fireworks. Flip. At last week's bi-weekly conference call with our engineering firm, a date was discussed for bidding with respect to Plan B, the below ground stuff. Before you is an ordinance authorizing the SSD to go out for bids for Plan B. I'd love to ask if you pass it tonight. However, we are awaiting some additional funding from the USDA. We will be revisiting any action on the second reading. Bottom line, it's happening. Bringing Flip and the flood together, the 100 blocks of Oak and Hayes Streets took a sucker punch from the flood. We've been working with Erie Paving, U.S. Department of Agriculture, Projects Engineering, and others to make emergency repairs. Oak had an emergency patch as it took the worst of Mother Nature. Hayes brings up the other issue as it is part of Plan B. It will be addressed by the street department on a very temporary basis. The ditch between the shores and the ice shanty, as well as the ditch adjacent to Route 2 and Betty Lane, the city has been in conversation with the Ottawa County Soil and Water Conservation District and county commissioners to petition these two ditches be cleaned. This is a long process and involves every property owner that drains to these ditches. Mayfly lights. The street lights were to be turned back on the week of July 6th. However, storms in the area and throughout the Midwest have stretched manpower resources for First Energy. Consequently, the turn-on process has been delayed for another 2 weeks. SSD. Brian Klaus will be sworn in as the next SSD for the City of Port Clinton in a brief ceremony on Monday, July 20th at 9 a.m. in council chambers. Brian and his family are from Strongsville, but have had a second home in the area for quite some time. Brian is leaving his post as director of the Emergency Operations Center for Cuyahoga County. Immediately following his swearing in, Brian will conduct his first weekly supervisors meeting and begin touring the city facilities and learning the faces and names. I personally cannot thank Jim Sassy enough for his commitment to the city during his time as interim SSD. Jim has repeatedly stated he is just a phone call away if Brian needs help, and provide background and or help when needed or on any given issue or topic. A copy of the press release issued last week has been placed at each of your seats and has been published in the city's website, social media outlets, and distributed to traditional media throughout northern Ohio. Beach cleaner. Last Thursday, while cleaning the beach, the motor died. It's being shipped to a third-party vendor, but will not be back for service for the remainder of the season. We will look at alternatives. None are inexpensive and or labor intensive. The concession stand is open. I was the third customer, being the mayor, not myself, on Saturday. their first day of business. Thank you. This concludes the mayor's report for this evening. So, I don't have any questions. questions that you can answer. So move on to Mr. Velo, auditor's report.
Madam President, what was your order at Brown's Express?
What would my order be?
Yeah. What was it since you were
The
there?
orange vanilla twist. Of course.
Good answer.
You too. Good evening, council. Good to be with you. I wanted to just speak briefly on a couple ordinances and one other item. Ordinances 21, 23, and 24 authorize issuance of RFPs and contracts fully funded under the Urban Community Forestry Grant Award from the U.S. Forest Service, so that no cost shall be borne by the city, as you all know. Ordinance 21 is downtown tree canopy at $500,000. Ordinance 23 is tree maintenance at $54,000. Ordinance 24 is tree planting at $90,000. City aims to issue RFPs by early next week so that we meet performance milestones mandated by the city's subaward grant agreement with American Forest. So please pass ordinance 21, 23, and 24 tonight. I believe Mr. Trolley's committees voted in favor of the same. Ordinance 28 is new and up for its first reading tonight. Ordinance 28 comes from bond counsel, the lawyer of Squire Patton Boggs, who served in that role. The original note ordinance, ordinance 22, as is typically the case, does not provide the exact terms of proposed notes, but provides certain thresholds like maximum principal amount and maximum interest rate. In this case, the ordinance authorized a maximum interest rate of 6%, which the rate offered by Huntington Bank, Huntington National Bank, the note purchaser, slightly exceeded that at 6.20%. The true interest cost of the full note issuance does come out to 5.93%. The ordinance is amending the maximum interest rate to 7% so that there is no question that the terms of the notes are as authorized by council. Additionally, the original ordinance includes estimated terms of the bonds that these notes are being issued in anticipation of, bond anticipation notes, or BANs, B-A-Ns. The interest rate specified in the original ordinance for the bonds was already at 7%, so this amendment, ordinance 28, also aligns the terms of the notes with those of the bonds, as was the original intent of the ordinance, ordinance 22. Closing the notes is on July 20th. We have a payment coming up due on July 22nd on last year's issuance for 201 Madison Street. So please pass ordinance 28 this evening. At the June 29th Safety Services Committee meeting, there's continued discussion about standing up a regular annual appropriation within the general fund for fire and EMS operations in 2027 and beyond. Council approved last month a further $225,000 transfer to the fire fund from the general fund, taking the total for the fiscal year to $450,000. Back to the request to explore annual appropriation to be counted on by fire out of the general fund. It's my view that standing up a new, effectively permanent allocation from the general fund should only be made with understanding that other functions, other departments relying on the general fund could see necessary adjustments to help offset the potential permanent allocation to fire. And that's because there's not just an available, say, $600,000 available doing nothing at any one time or over the period January 1 through December 31st, for example. I explained that to the committee. That would include, obviously, the police department, cemetery, income tax, and other functions, but not water, not sewer, not infrastructure, or state or federally funded grant functions that we have. Given that potential impact to the other general fund departments and functions, those affected folks and staff should be participating in discussions to determine what cost savings could be realized. So I recommended to the committee, and the committee agreed, that a resolution directing the Safety and Service Director and other city officials to evaluate the feasibility of and develop recommendations for cost savings, and a proposed allocation strategy for a regular annual appropriation from the general fund to fire and EMS operations beginning in 2027, and that the SSD will report back to council this fall with those findings. And I believe this should also include new revenue options as well. So I intend to have the resolution back to the committee and council later this month. That concludes my remarks. I'm happy to answer any questions now or later as things come up on the agenda.
Does anyone on council have any questions for Mr. Beadle?
Okay, 2826, it's amending the previous one. So sale of
That's
notes
correct.
for the Key Bank building. And I know you just explained it very well. Now pretend I'm an idiot and explain it again. I mean, I'm not an idiot, but this didn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, so we're gonna sell notes, and that's not a bond issue, that's not a levy, we're selling notes that
Yeah.
investors buy.
Yeah.
Like, can I go somewhere and buy that, or is Edward Jones people buy that, or how's that work?
The city's bond council nor our municipal financial advisor would not recommend we sell to you, but institutional buyers, yeah. So
Okay.
the purchaser, there was one interested party that was Huntington National Bank.
Okay, and
They
then,
came back with 6.20% financing. It was a clerical error in the original ordinance that set the cap at 6%. Elsewhere, in the same ordinance, there was a cap for 7% on the bonds long term. So it's correcting that, what I'll call a clerical mistake from the lawyers at Squire Patton Boggs, which provided this amendment. to
okay, so
satisfy.
all this means we're selling these, and over the next 20 years or so, we're
No.
gonna pay them back?
No, 2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are 2.5 year bonds,
Notes,
notes. Like I said, I don't understand this.
no bond, notes.
But that will give us money to do what we have to do.
This pays off what we sold last year for the purchase and renovation. We still have leftover balance, but we have a invoice due to pay that off because that was to be a 1-year note. And so this effectively rolls that over for up to 2.5 years. There's no requirement we do 2.5 years. Any time between 1 and 2.5 years. It really depends on the outcome of, say, what happens with Key Bank as a tenant and the other renovation approach or proposal that comes out of the engineering.
Okay, that helped. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Sure, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
I'll say the underlying question about this ordinance is the previous ordinance, which council already approved.
Right.
It's just a correction to the amount.
Okay, fair enough.
Mr. Taylor, treasurer's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Year-to-date bed tax collected, we have $118,455.89. Dock tax, year-to-date, $19,656. And then our short-term rental registration fees, year-to-date, $28,500.
Does anyone on council have any questions for Mr. Taylor?
I mean, do you know if it's on target from like what we had last year at this time, or is it below?
We had a small text thread on that. A few weeks ago, we were ahead. I don't have an update on if we've fallen behind in July.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but at least at the end of June, we were ahead.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
No law director, no safety service, no.
Madam President,
Oh, yes.
since there's some other absences, since council has interest in what the revenues coming in are, I can share with you that income tax revenue year-to-date as of today is $2,239,789.82, which is on par from what I looked at it last year. Also, if you're curious, parking tickets year-to-date is $4,815.
Okay, thank you. Move on to committee reports. Finance, Ms. Zovis?
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Safety Services and Public Works, Mr. Trolling?
Nothing tonight. Well, letting you two know, we'll schedule committee meetings in the next 2 weeks to discuss food trucks,
Okay.
things like that, okay?
Do we get to sample the food?
Yes, we'll put them all in.
Economic and Community Development, Mrs. Gilman?
Thank you, Madam President. We have a meeting on July 28th after council.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to correspondence. Under correspondence, we have the Planning Commission / Board of Zoning Appeals, June 11, 2026 meeting minutes. Architectural Review Board meeting minutes from May 28, 2026, and the financial report of June 2026 for provided by Mr. Below, the auditor. Does council wish to take any action as to the correspondence?
Madam President,
Mrs. Gilman.
I move we accept the financial report June 2026 provided by Mr. Bealow, the auditor.
Thank you. Do I have a second? I have a motion by Mrs. Gilman, seconded by Mrs. King to approve the financial report of June 2026 provided by Mr. Bealow, the auditor. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes.
Thank you. The motion carries by a vote of 6-0. The financial report from June 2026 is hereby approved. Does council wish to take any further action as to the correspondence?
Madam President,
Mrs.
I
Gilman.
move we accept the correspondence as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. I have a motion by Mrs. Gilman, second by Mr. Trolley, to accept the correspondence as stated. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
We'll move on to readings of ordinances and resolutions. Under third reading. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 21-26?
Ordinance 21-26, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to advertise for proposals and enter into a contract for downtown streetscape tree canopy improvement services, fully funded through the State of Port Clinton Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act grant award, with no cost to be borne by the city, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 21-26?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we retain the emergency clause in ordinance 21-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion? We have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to retain the emergency clause as to ordinance 21-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan.
Sure. Yes.
Say yes, sorry.
Yes.
Avery Robinson.
Yes.
Okay, thank
Did I
you.
get Jerry?
I didn't get.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Thought I was missing something.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. The emergency clause is hereby retained. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 21-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley?
make a motion that we retain, or we adopt ordinance 21-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Robinson. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to know why declaring emergency
Excuse
for
me,
a tree grant.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's not discussion. It's discussion among council. If you wanted to speak, you would have had to sign up. That's why I'd asked you when you came in, if you wanted to speak. So, but I will answer your question. There's a grant on this, and it is time
Right.
sensitive, and that is what Mr. Bealow explained. So an emergency is just, it's signed tonight and becomes effective this evening. So. Okay. Does anyone on council have any comments or questions? Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to adopt ordinance 21-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Avery Robinson.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Ordinance 21-26 is hereby adopted. We move on to second readings. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 23-26?
Ordinance 23-26, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to advertise for proposals and enter into a contract for tree maintenance services fully funded through the State of Port Clinton Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act grant award, with no cost to be borne by the city, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 23-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we waive the three required readings of ordinance 23-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to waive the three required readings as to ordinance 23-26. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy King.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Avery Robinson.
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. The three required readings as to ordinance 23-26 are hereby waived. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 23-26?
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we retain the emergency clause in ordinance 23-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to retain the emergency clause as to ordinance 23-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman, yes. Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Kathy King,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. The emergency clause is hereby retained. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 23-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 23-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council?
Yeah, Madam President.
Yes.
Just real quick, these two ordinances we're working on, it's simply amazing grant that Mr. Beal went after and received at no cost to the city. I can't reiterate that enough. I know people out there, oh, we're good. It's not costing the city any money. It was in front of the tree commission. We unanimously agreed to both. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like council?
Yeah, I just have a question, and I understand the time sensitive, and, you know, I don't like declaring emergency, but I understand this case. How did these three ordinances, that are obviously on the same thing, how did one end up as a third and under the second reasons? How did that, why aren't they all the same time?
Mr. Beal can.
It's not really important, but it's just curious, all three of these.
Because I got the
ordinances-
first one done first, Mr. Morgan. The first one for $500,000, I figured the city council would want it as a priority, so I tried to get it in front of you as soon as possible. And then I couldn't get the other two, but I did. And
Okay.
that's how they ended
Yeah,
up.
I completely understand, I thought there was some, that's perfect, thank you. Right.
Anybody else like council?
Yeah, I'd like to counter Mr. Morgan's statement about the emergency clause. I still don't think a lot of people understand what it is. It states that this ordinance goes into law today, not 30 days from now. Today. That's all I have to say.
Madam President, I can just add one more bit of clarification. On any ordinance, including these that have an emergency clause, the last section under the herefore be it ordained describes the emergency situation. Emergency doesn't mean a burst pipe, flooding, water in a traditional sense. It means that there's a compelling reason to expedite in this particular case because there are time-sensitive dollars that will expire if we do not meet milestones. And so that's the reason for the request, which is fully justified in the reading of the ordinance. It passes every test that a statutory city like city council would face when passing an ordinance like this. So just like infrastructure grant dollars, there are times when things need to move very fast as to not miss the window of opportunity. This is one of them. The grant that Mr. Twirley is talking about, it was almost $1 million, $959,000, zero cost share for the city, coming out of Agriculture Department, which is where Forest Service is, unheard of. So zero cost share, essentially free money. It's just time of the Tree Commission, Safety Service Director, Luke Johnson, me, and others to make sure that we do this and so that we use every available dollar and that it's not lost. So I appreciate the kind words, Mr. Trolley, and thank you for council. Thank you to council for.
Well, thank you for.
Yeah, and let me add to this, I'll agree with you 100%. I think this is amazing, we got $1 million for free, and I can see no downside to it. I just wanted to clarify some things, so no, thank you for everybody who's involved in that, it's great. I'm looking forward to this, honestly.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to adopt ordinance 23-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Kathy King,
Yes.
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Ordinance 23-26 is hereby adopted. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 24-26?
Ordinance 24-26, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to advertise for proposals and enter into a contract for tree planting services, fully funded through the City of Port Clinton Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act grant award, with no cost to be borne by the city, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 24-26?
Madam President,
Mr.
I
Trolley.
make the motion that we waive the third required readings of ordinance 24-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Troy, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to waive the three required readings as to ordinance 24-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. The three required readings as to ordinance 24-26 are hereby waived. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 24-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we retain emergency clause in ordinance 24-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to retain the emergency clause as to ordinance 24-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Emergency clause as to ordinance 24-26 is hereby retained. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 24-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we adopt ordinance 24-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, second by Mr. Robinson, to adopt ordinance 24-26. The clerk, please call the roll.
Beth Gilman, yes. Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Ordinance 24-26 is hereby adopted. We'll move on to first readings of ordinances and resolutions.
Ordinance 25-26.
Thank you.
In ordinance amending sections 721.09 and 721.13, chapter 721 of the Portland Codified Ordinances, regulating taxi cabs.
Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 25-26? Seeing none, ordinance 25-26, we move to its second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on July 28th, 2026. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 26-26?
Ordinance 26-26, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the construction of the water and sanitary sewer infrastructure improvements project and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 26-26? Seeing no further action, ordinance 26-26 will move to its second reading at the next regular scheduled council meeting on July 28th, 2026. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 27-26?
Ordinance 27-26, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter in a collective bargaining agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 79, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 27-26?
Madam President, there is a typo in declaring.
Okay. I will let the clerk know that, and then to amend that for the next reading.
There was another one too with the, I was gonna tell her the WH instead of it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Seeing no further business, ordinance 27-26 will move to its second read at the next regular scheduled council meeting on July 28th, 2026. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 28-26?
Ordinance 28-26, an ordinance providing for an amendment to ordinance number 22-26 relating to the issuance and sale of notes authorized in that ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 28-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
make a motion that we waive the three required readings of ordinance 28-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to waive the three required readings as to ordinance 28-26. The clerk, please call the roll.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Kathy King.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Thank you. The three required readings as to ordinance 28-26 for the mayor waived. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 28-26?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley.
make a motion to retain the emergency clause in ordinance 28-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion by council? Okay, I I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to retain the words of cause as to ordinance 28-26. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Avery Robinson.
Yes.
Kathy King,
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. The emergency clause is hereby retained as to ordinance 28-26. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 28-26?
Madam President,
Mr.
I
Trolley.
make a motion that we adopt ordinance 28-26.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to adopt ordinance 28-26. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Kathy King,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley,
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Ordinance 28-26 is hereby adopted. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only resolution 26-5?
Resolution 26-5, a resolution adopting a cybersecurity program to safeguard the city's data, information technology, and information technology resources as required by section 9.64 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 26-5?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley?
make a motion to waive the 3 required readings of resolution 26-5.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion by council? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to waive the 3 required readings as to resolution 26-5. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kathy King,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes. Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Resolution 26-. The 3 required readings as to resolution 26-5 are hereby waived. Does council wish to take any further action as to resolution 26-5?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley?
make a motion we adopt resolution 26-5.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Any discussion by council? I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mr. Robinson, to adopt resolution 26-5. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Avery Robinson,
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Kathy King,
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Richard Morgan,
Yes.
Beth Gilman, yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only resolution 26-6?
Resolution 26-6, a resolution directing the tax commissioner to prepare a side-by-side analysis between the city's current in-house municipal income tax administration process and the Regional Income Tax Agency, RETA, tax administration process to determine the costs, benefits, and available services that each administrative model can provide to the taxpayers of the city of Portland.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any actions to resolution 26-6? Seeing none, resolution 26-6, we move to a second reading of the next regularly scheduled council meeting on July 28, 2026. Move on to business from the floor. Mr. Morgan, and welcome back. I'm glad to see you're feeling better.
Thank you. 2 small things, and they're nothing important. I have noticed that, and every single person here will agree with this. 30 I remember the flood of 1969, okay? July 4th, 19, I think that was the correct year. And we all pumped our basements, and we all wondered what we could do to make our basements better. I don't remember anyone say, how did the city screw up? But now when something happens, the tendency is to blame the city, the state, the federal government for any little thing that goes wrong, and there's nothing we can do about it. I just want to acknowledge it. I don't like it, but it is what we are in today. The other thing is, one last chance, guys. Water Street is playing Friday night. Every time I tell you, I never see any of you there. I look in the crowd, and I am in the back row where I belong, but I look. We're only playing from 6 to 7:30. You know, so here's your chance. That's all. Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson? Mr. Trolley?
Yes. Buckle up. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
Give me a heart attack.
First and foremost, do you guys realize what ordinance 26-26 is about? My heart's racing over this. Finally, it's the FLIP project.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Read it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is probably the most excited I've been in the last 4 years. Finally. Okay, with that aside, Mr. Velo, tree commission, like I said, met tonight. Would transplanting the trees downtown in the pots that we have now, transplanting them to areas in the city be covered under the grant?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Will those poor things survive?
Yeah.
Okay.
That, we talked about that tonight, and they
Yeah,
would
it
do
might be
much,
something.
much better in the ground than they are in the
Oh.
pot. They're getting so
As with-
big now.
Yeah, as with everything. Always better on the ground
Right.
than in a pot.
Can you get
pot-
back to us?
Yeah, I'll get back to you. I strongly suspect new purchases would be best.
Right, I
Maybe,
understand.
service department could do
We only have about 3 downtown that we would transplant.
What
that
kind
would
are
be
they?
Good enough. Pardon?
What variety are they?
They're verbatim, arborvitaes.
Okay.
Everybody has to realize, we're not gonna plant trees yet. We're gonna wait till the fall. Is that within the time frame?
that. Yeah, we just need to place some orders relatively.
Get them
right
bought
quick.
now and then planted. Okay. I'll let them know, excuse me. Another issue, last year we had salt problems, getting salt. Are we working on a contract, do you know,
We
now?
already passed that.
Pardon?
We passed that in December.
We did? For
Yeah.
this year? Ooh, see my memory.
You were a little salty about it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, that's why we passed it so early, so that we could
Okay.
get.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, because Jim made a point of saying it won't fix the previous
Yes.
year.
Yeah, you're right, I apologize. This is it, all right, that back. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
I'm happy you're thinking about winter though.
Yeah. So, Mrs. Happy
Nothing
birthday.
tonight, Madam President.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I have nothing to say.
Okay. Mrs. Gilman?
I'm just gonna do a PSA to everybody with all this news about explosive stuff in the community, like the fireworks. If you eat something or have some kind of stomach issues or anything, there's a lot of local services you can use, including your primary care physician would be the first course, your urgent care, and then your emergency department if you have like health issues or a bad immune system. I'm not a medical professional, but there's a lot of people that are suffering from this, and don't just run to the ER, you know, you can call your doctor and utilize those services, so. And I'm eating a diet of pizza and ice cream, and I'm happy that the concession stand is open, because those seem to be safe choices. Nothing else, Madam President.
Okay. Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will pass this on over
Oh,
to.
Madam President, I make a motion, as this August body,
Adjourn.
go adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. King. I have a motion by Mrs. Hovis, seconded by Mrs. King to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same sign. Thank you, we're adjourned.